I will call this meeting of August 7th, 2023 of the Hlpc to order. And first order of business is approval of the minutes from the June 5th, 2023 meeting. Does anybody have any?
My name is Miss Bell.
All right.
Commissioner present. It's L-E, not E-L.
Anything? Well, it's a little hard since there are only two of us here that were there actually there.
Yeah, no.
To know.
All I'm saying.
I didn't catch that, but I didn't see anything else. All right. So, I mean, I don't know how anybody else is going to comment on it. You want to make a motion?
Yes, I motion that we accept the minutes.
Okay, there we go. Charles seconds. So all in favor of approving the minutes from July 5th, 2023 with the correction as noted?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Okay, staff.
All right. One thing before we get started, Jeff, sorry, show me your microphone. Here we go. See if I can get this. Gotta turn it on. So our first item on the agenda today is just new board members' introductions. So in your packet, you will see you have a committee member list. It's not complete. City Council at their last, maybe not the last two, but two of their July council meetings amended the ordinance to make our HLPC committee larger. So now we're at 9 members. So this was our first list from when we just replaced members that were rotating off, and we have since added 2 more members. So I will get you an updated list as soon as I have one. First introduction is myself. I'm Jessica Sal. I'm the Community Services Interim Director. I was also recently named the Historic Preservation Officer for the city. We do have to have one to maintain our certified local government status. So even though I'm not permanent director as of right now, I am Historic Preservation Officer to make sure we maintain that status. We also have Cece Sarmiento. She is our community services coordinator. She's our admin on our side, so you'll be getting a lot of emails from her. She sends out the agendas, minutes, writes the minutes for us, and basically does everything behind the scenes for me. And then I just wanted to open up and let y'all go through and state your name and if you're happy to be here or whatever you'd like to say before we get started today. So Jeff, do you want to start?
Jeff Apt, ABT. I'm glad to be here.
Schaffner, I'm very grateful to be here. 7th generation Texan and ancestors from East Texas, so I love everything historical and hysterical and Nacogdoches. Thank you.
Judy Kugel.
Perky Beisel.
Vicki Winthrop.
Charles Bradbury, and on Friday I'll finish my 4th historic building.
Yay.
Old University building.
That's wonderful.
Yay.
We also have Ann Keenan is on our board who cannot make it today. Eric Gaylord, and then Z Whitehead is one of our new members who could not make it today either. So we will have 9 of us. So after this, it may get a little cramped, but we will make do. So Chair, I think that's all on that item. Sorry, I thought it was a sneeze, but it wasn't. So we'll go to item 3B. Consider historic restoration grant reimbursement for property located at 322 East Main Street. This property was approved to scrape, caulk, and repaint the front facade of the building. It is the Greer's Antique and Interior Design. Their original estimate for this project was $3,800. They supplied staff with receipts in the amount of $4,149.80. And this project was funded at 35% of the final project cost, not to exceed $1,330. Since their total amount went over their projected amount, staff recommends going with the $1,330 reimbursement. You can see here is our expense report outlining the paint and materials and labor they used, and also a before picture as well as an after picture.
All right. Does anybody have any questions of staff about this reimbursement request? Would anybody like to make a motion about
So
this?
moved.
Can you state the request case number, please, so we have that in the...
HRG 2023-001. So move that this grant amount be approved.
And I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of this reimbursement request?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right.
All right. So moving right along, our next one is another historic restoration reimbursement grant. It's HRG 2022-018, and this is for 1801 North Street. It's the Fairchild Law Firm. They were approved to repair the west side brick driveway using original bricks when possible, and install drainage and a gutter system in the yard with an estimated cost of $10,212.31. This one, if you'll remember, HLPC extended several times because the applicant was trying very hard to find original bricks and time period bricks. Found a ton and they look great. They submitted invoices and payment in the amount of $12,988, and the project was funded at 12%, not to exceed $1,225.47. Staff recommends release of grant funds in the amount of $1,225.47. You can see here is the expense report, as well as a bunch of before and after pictures. They were having a lot of drainage issues. One thing that is a little unique on this one is that the applicant did not install the drainage system, which normally not doing all parts of a project would disqualify them from grant funding. But this, after fixing the brick and doing some of the groundwork, the contractor said you actually don't need it. And they already exceeded the amount they were going to spend, so we still recommend reimbursing that amount for them.
All right. Any questions of staff for this request? This is just one of those nice moments where they get it done.
They did, they got it done.
And there was delay, but that's all right. All right.
I move that we accept HGR 2022-018 for reimbursement.
Okay.
I second the motion.
All right. Any discussion? Any question? All right. All in favor of this reimbursement request? Aye. Anybody opposed?
All right. I love it when we give away money. Our next one, agenda item 3D, is another historic restoration grant reimbursement. This is HRG 2023-007. The property is 2700 North Pecan Street. This applicant was approved to replace rotten wood and paint the exterior of the building. HLPC had stated replace rotten wood where necessary because they hadn't identified every single area, because as soon as you start replacing rotten wood, you tend to find more. The original estimate was $7,800. Applicant provided us with the copies of receipts and payments in the amount of $12,042. We originally approved this at 18% of the final project cost, not to exceed $1,404. Staff recommends release of grant funds in the amount of $1,404. You can see here the expense report. And also, I could not find our before pictures. I know I think they are in there. We did have some. I just don't know exactly where they are. But there was rotten wood, paint peeling on the house and the detached garage. So we got a lot of great after pictures of that building.
Any questions of staff about this historic restoration grant? Well, in that case, I'll make a motion that we approve HRG 2023-007 for the amount of $1,404.
And I'll
As I did.
second it.
All right. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All righty.
All right, our next item, agenda item 3E, is a certificate of appropriateness for a property located at 401 East Main Street. The applicant and owner are here today. If you have any questions, Dennis and Calvin White. This building, most people know it as the original location of Commercial Bank, or the one with all the flowers painted in the window at the corner of Church and Main is the two I kind of hear. The applicant is requesting to replace and repair the storefront windows, remove the existing awning, repair masonry, and rebuild the balcony and the second floor canopy. They are trying to match the historic facade that we have many pictures of, which I'll go through, trying to match those the best as possible. The storefront windows in the historic photos are the big plate glass storefront windows, and they are requesting to replace those. The only thing you'll notice from your elevations is there's not exact measurements on the windows, and that's because that existing awning has not been removed, so we don't know exactly where they're going to put the ceiling height or exactly how big the windows will be. I have talked to the applicant, and they said the difference would be several inches, not big feet difference, once they take those off of there. The only big change you will see to this building is other than the balcony and things of that nature, that would be changing what is currently there, is on the rear of the building. There are 2 existing windows that would be covered up, and not necessarily just covered, but kind of bricked in with either brick or plaster. They would be maintaining the original opening and the original brickwork. They just need to be closed in because there was a fire escape that goes across there. And staff finds that city ordinance criteria B, C, D, E, F, G, J, and K apply to this. This is a pretty large-scale restoration, so basically all of our city ordinance criteria apply to this one. And also a little bit of history on the building. Is built in 1901 and is listed as contributing to the Downtown Historic District. Most people know it as the MC Hazel Building, Hazel Department Store, and there's been quite a few businesses in that store. It has been vacant for years and years and years, I think as long as I've lived in Nacogdoches. And Dennis and Calvin White have purchased it with the intent of restoring it and opening it back up. So we have staff comments, which are in your packet. Again, it outlines what ordinance criteria apply to this request. You can see here is the west elevation. We also have the south elevation, where you'll see the big storefront windows. And then this is the north elevation. I was mentioning the 2 windows that are going to be essentially plastered or bricked in, so that you can have that fire escape, because of course with a second floor balcony that's actually accessible, you have to have a secondary exit to get out of there. And so here are some of our historic photos from back when it was Commercial Bank. And you see it here in the very back left during our farmer's course short relay. And also this one, because there was a few questions that we had on the staff side as far as when that current awning was put in. The best estimate we have for this photo is the 50s or 60s, and you can see that awning is not there. There looks like there to be some cloth or metal awning on one side of the building, but not wrapping around like it currently is. And then this is the building as you see today, except for there's usually flowers painted in the windows. And like I said, staff is happy to answer any questions, but the applicant and owner is also here to answer any questions you may have.
So questions for staff, if you have any, staff.
No.
Okay, so questions of the applicants. Does anybody have any
I
questions?
am curious, I don't know if this is staff or applicants, for the fire escape that goes down, you have to cover up both windows. Is there a reason why both windows have to be covered up, even though there's a fire escape in front of it?
You want to answer that? I'm not the engineer. So you just need to state your name so we have it on the record.
Yep.
My name's Dennis White. I'm the owner of the project in question at 401 East Main. The rear of the building, there's lots of mechanical things that have to occur there. There's actually, those 2 windows in question are on the back side, and when you're going down a fire escape, you don't want a breakable object beside you that you should fall in, because that is going to be one of the egresses and ingresses to the building. So for the occupants that are traveling up those stairs, you don't want to come up a set of stairs with an armload of goods and fall into a plate glass window. So we're going to brick them in, recess the brick in, and maintain the archway. And the other window to the left, one of those has got to be bricked over to allow us, go back to that. There you go. The one to the east there is where all the electrical equipment has got to be placed, so that window will be covered over as well. The other windows will maintain for natural light, but we also have to have some places to mount the electrical equipment. So that is one of the egresses coming out of the upstairs.
So could you just elaborate a bit on how you're planning on putting that brick in, and will you have a window on the inside, or what will this be inside and out?
well, the inside will probably just be plastered over because or it'll wall over, but the outside will still, you see the dotted portion that we didn't know what material we'd use, but that is the original shape of the window. And if we put masonry or stucco or some other material, it'll recess back enough to maintain that original opening. And there may even be a little skylight at the top of it. I don't know if we need any additional light because you've got the light there to the left, the window to the left, and then on the east side, west side, there's windows there as well. So that'll be the primary entrance into that portion of the building.
Question, if you happen to sell the building, is there a way to return it back to windows? Is that an
No.
easy way? Or is this is it
It'll
forever?
be that.
It would be a moot point because of the code issues with the fire
Yeah.
and the glass.
Well, okay, well, let's ask her a question a different way. If somebody wanted to get rid of the fire escape, can they unbrick these windows in the way that you're planning on bricking them up to return
Let
them?
me address your first point. You can't get rid of the fire escape because you gotta have two means of egress from upstairs, and this is one of two.
Say I wanna undo it, I'm not gonna have anybody up there, it's not functional. I'm concerned about restoring the building, so,
Well, I am too, that's why I'm here.
no, can we redo the brick? Can we undo the brick?
You can tear it out.
All right,
Yeah,
There
if
we
you
go.
get a big enough hammer, you can tear it out.
Right, so we could put a window in there. If there was no balcony, we could restore it back to it being a window.
Sure,
Just need a big hammer.
just a big hammer.
okay.
That's what we
I have a question. Will you be able to match the brick?
No,
That's all right.
no.
What's on the building you won't be able to match?
Brick from 1901, it'll be hard to match. You know, the closest you'll find is probably what they call used Chicago, which has a charcoal looking like it's been in a fire. They call it used Chicago because the brick from the Chicago fire was salvaged for many buildings, but now it's just a replica. So that's probably the closest that we'll find. I've actually got a raw brick from the inside of the building to repair two holes that are on the west side of the building that were put there. Someone cut in window units over the years, and so I've got two holes in the side of the building. So I'm gonna take brick from the inside and use it to fix those holes on the west side. Because you
Perky,
want,
I don't have a question, I've got a comment. I think it's 3 years ago, you and I sat down and talked in your office about this.
yes, sir.
And I left there thinking, what a passionate gentleman about
I applaud him.
history of downtown Nacogdoches. And to ever think of him ever selling this, I'm gonna tell you, it's never gonna happen.
No, there's two generations of my son and grandson behind me, so they'll inherit this building and hopefully continuing on because lifelong resident. I've been here my whole life, and they've been here their whole life. And
I
so,
just think we're really lucky to have someone who's willing to commit the kind of dollars and design it takes to really put that building in tip-top shape, because it's an eyesore for this city.
well, it's been a pigeon hotel for 20 years, and we took a while to get all them run out, but we're close to having it completely enclosed. We did restore the upstairs windows. I've got table saws and routers upstairs. We took the windows apart and made the pieces to match what was there and salvage as much of the original glass. You can pick the original glass out because it's marbly, but you've got to look for it. So in an effort to maintain and restore, yeah, we're gonna do everything we can to make it look like it did in 1901. That's our goal, and our vision. So it's a project, but we're well on our way. Calvin just finished the MEP drawings this week, so we've submitted those, for our building permit. We've had the elevations, Jessica's had the elevations, for some time, so we're there. We're ready to go. Trying not to lose our motivation. We were all moving fast for a while, but it's kind of hit a pause, but we're still excited about the project and putting it back to a usable form to be an amenity to the downtown area, so.
What is your deadline?
Oh,
Or
you want,
hopeful?
you want mine or my wife's hopeful deadline? We'll hope to have some of it occupiable by the end of the year, but we won't be finished by the end of the year. But we hope to have portions of it. Calvin will office downstairs. That's where his new office will be. We have a tenant that's gonna lease the southwest corner of it. She's anxious to get in there, and so, there's still a lot of work to do, but I think we're fixing to see some real progress. I've got to redo the front balcony, and so with that, we've got to break the sidewalk out. So all of that has to occur because I can't shut it down. I got to make sure there's not a function going on where I've got the sidewalk tore up. So, because we've got ADA ramps, because the building is this high above the sidewalk. So wherever the entrance is, I've got to make sure our ADA ramps will let wheelchairs into the building. So I've got to break the sidewalk up on two sides of the building. And when I do that is when I want to set the posts for the upstairs and minimize the area that we've got to section off so folks can't pass there. But it'll be a process.
Anybody else have any questions of the applicant?
Who is the tenant that's coming in?
Oh, what is her name? She has a store. She's currently downtown. What's her name?
Melody Divin, Clothes and Armor.
That's her. Yes, she is anxiously waiting.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing
All right,
it.
any other questions of staff?
I
Oh,
move-
go ahead.
Okay, I move that we accept case number COA 2023-0117, and it meets the criteria for B, C, D, E, F, G, J, and K.
I second that.
All right, any discussion? All right, so all those in favor of the motion as stated?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, next.
Great. So this next one's a very simple one. It's COA 2023-018. The applicant, Stephanie Malott, for 407 East Main Street, is requesting to install an 83 by 60-inch sign on the front facade of the building. You'll know this used to be the Beautiful You Salon and Spa. They recently moved a block up, and so there is a new business going in there that would like to put in a new sign. It meets all the planning and zoning requirements as far as the size of the sign based on the front facade. And they are proposing to attach it to the building using the previous sign attachments that are still in the building from when Antonia moved. So staff finds that city ordinance criteria B, J, and K relate to this, and chapter 10 of the Nacogdoches Design Guidelines, which we included. See the design guideline, or the chapter 10 there as well. And this is a mock-up of what the sign will look like. It's basically going right where the Beautiful You Salon and Sign, or Spa sign was. I believe there's a wood attachment up there and then two metal ones on the bottom. They're just gonna use those same attachments. And this is what it looked like before. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions of staff? Signs are a bit different because we have these two different areas that we have to look at. And a reminder, we do not review color, design,
design, or
statement, anything
wording.
of that nature. Not our bailiwick.
Can we ask about materials?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
They are proposing a vinyl.
Laminate, it says. So
Yes,
what
vinyl
is
laminate.
that?
It's essentially like a very, very thick, almost plastic, which a lot of them use downtown because they can be easily printed. They're a little bit longer lasting than wood signs, and they're commonly seen downtown. I think probably 3/4 of the building downtown have a vinyl laminate sign.
See if anybody else had the same thing. Is that something that is, I'm assuming lightweight, more
Yes.
lightweight?
They're very lightweight. There's some buildings you'll see that have the heavier wooden signs that require a lot bigger attachments. There's some you will see downtown that just have their individual lettering put in there, which requires attachment of each letter. This is pretty common because there's usually one or two methods of attachment, and usually when you remove a sign, they leave it behind because it's already in the brick, and you can just put up a new sign. So they're pretty lightweight, and it's very common in downtown.
Can you give me an example of the, one of the downtown signs that are already up there that's made out of this?
Sure, the Beautiful You Salon and Spa, they took their old sign, which actually is this one, and just moved it one building over. I'm trying to think, there's a few other ones downtown.
Yeah.
I'd have to go look, but Beautiful You is one of them. I know that Dolly's Diner, I believe, has one as well, and I think Cowboy Jack's has one as well.
Thank you.
Got quizzed there for a second. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to come up with those.
It's nice when they don't have to drill new holes. Yeah. Other questions for staff? So. Did you make a motion?
No, I didn't.
No,
but I
okay,
did.
no, I was thinking of the previous one. So, would anybody like to make a motion about this request?
I'll make the motion. I make a motion that we accept COA 2023-018, meets the city ordinance of B, J, and K for their signage.
I'll second that. All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion? Aye. Anybody opposed? All right,
Great. So our last thing, of course, says adjourn, but we also, I wanted to make y'all aware of our September meeting. Normally, we meet on the first Monday unless there's a holiday, which of course we have Labor Day. And in that case, we move to the second Wednesday of the month because there is another meeting that happens pretty much every day after ours in the same room. So our next meeting will be September 13th. And for our new members, we'll be reaching out to you to do our new member orientation where we go over the big binder of stuff that we gave you today. And you guys will get an email with our agenda link and packet before our next meeting as well.
Is it at 4 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am, it's at 4 o'clock.
I have a dumb question. Since I never did it, should I do it?
Do which part?
Yeah, I never had orientation.
If you'd like to, we absolutely can.
Do you think I need it?
I think you're a pro, but we can absolutely do it if you'd like to.
Oh, just because I have a bachelor's degree, and I don't know why.
We'll email you and set one up. And I think that's all we have for today.
all right, we are officially adjourned.
But actually, really good.